I'm Patrick Cappiello from Rebelle restaurant in New York City. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is actually the offspring of two grapes that are also commonly known, Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Franc. Two of those at some point in time created what we know as a rich, full-bodied, dry red wine. Cabernet Sauvignon is a thick-skinned red grape that prefers a longer growing season and a warmer climate. Traditionally coming from the Bordeaux region in France, it's a lower acid grape that tends to produce wine with higher tannin structure. Cabernet Sauvignon is one of the most widely planted grapes in the world, and we find the grape in a myriad of wine regions, but two of my favorite regions are the Napa Valley and Bordeaux. In the Napa Valley, I especially love the wines from Cathy Corison. It tends to be more fruit-forward, it's rich and ripe in style. Still full-bodied and great tannin structure, they're some of my favorite Cabernets in the world. And then there's Bordeaux. Without a doubt, the best place to have Cabernet Sauvignon. The wines from Bordeaux are earthy, rich, powerful, age-worthy wines. Truly spectacular. Chateau Margaux, if you can afford it, is one of the best and brightest. The traditional glass is known as a Bordeaux glass, or a Cabernet glass, but it tends to be a thinner, taller red wine glass. The Pinot Noir glass, or the Burgundy glass, is a little bit more round and fat. The aromatics from Cabernet tend to be very rich and powerful, and I find if you put it in a glass that's too wide, it can almost overstimulate the aromatics. Cabernet, when it's young, tends to have a very dense, rich purple color and produces very viscous wine that clings to the glass. As it gets older, the wine tends to turn a little bit more orange, and around the edges especially, you'll see kind of a more rusty color. The aromatics of Cabernet Sauvignon, black currant, black raspberry, black cherry, and often the wines have more earthy aromatics as well. Leathery or barnyardy kind of smells, which sounds bad, but it's actually pretty good. And then often with Cabernet, especially those grown in France, you can smell things like nutmeg, cinnamon, and other baking spices, which usually has to do with the oak that they're using. Initially, it's very much about the tactile sensation. Tannin is the one thing that you experience, especially when Cabernet is young. It's that feeling where your lips kind of stick to your teeth, some rigid, almost sandpaper-like feelings. And that's that skin of the grape that's so thick that we spoke about, and also the interaction with the oak that gives the wine those tannins. Because of those tannins, Cabernet has great ageability. And for the flavors, we see very much a lot of the mirroring of those fruit flavors and those earthy flavors that we got when we were smelling the wines. Cabernet Sauvignon is great with a wide variety of foods, but I tend to like it best with meat. That tannin that we spoke about, that really helps to cut through the fattiness that you get on like a ribeye or like a lamb chop. Any foods that are rich and dense tend to go really well with wines that are rich and dense. For me, Cabernet Sauvignon is one of the most exciting grapes. It's a wine that drinks really well when it's young, and it's also a wine that you can age. So if you have a special occasion like a birth or an anniversary, it's a good bottle to buy and hang on to and drink it many years in the future.